Hello, my name's Giles Whitehead, and in 1995, I spent 6 months traveling the world drawing and painting. The last part of that trip was to India, and when I returned, I discovered a book that totally evoked the experience for me. That book was called Welcome to India, a beautifully illustrated travelogue with words by Eamon Leddy and pictures by Christopher Corr. The book, described as an evocation in paintings and words, so resonated with me that I wanted to be like Christopher Corr. The book has been a treasured possession ever since, capturing the contrasting cultures of India, from frenetic railway stations to dusty desert villages. And it's a huge honor to be talking to the creator of those wonderful paintings today. Welcome, Christopher Corr.
Thank you, Giles. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for inviting me.
So your paintings have been a big influence on me. And that moment when you find a really distinctive artist that affirms the way you think and see the world. And so when I came back, I found your book in a bookshop in Totnes in Devon. And it just totally captured to me what India was like. So who's been an influence on you?
I think when I was a student, I went to Manchester for 4 years, foundation, and then a kind of general graphics, but leaning towards illustration. I just wanted to draw. I really thought I need to draw. I don't really, whatever I do, I'll draw. And I spend a lot of time out of the studio drawing. I'd never been to Manchester before, so there was a lot to discover, and I spent my time just drawing in the streets. And I looked a lot at Paul Hogarth. I really liked the way he captured cities and architecture. And I'd say he was a big influence to begin with. But I always looked at lots of art. I was looking at Edward Hopper and the German expressionists. And I like art that's immediate and spontaneous and kind of has an energy, really. And I still love architecture, still love cities. It's all kinds of things, really. And people like Turner as well. I love his sketchbooks. As a student, I was working in sketchbooks all the time. It was quite hard to come out of it and just work on a piece of paper. But I just thought, well, I need to find a way to do it. So I started drawing on newspaper as well. So there was always a background to work on, or just kind of painting on an old painting. So there was always something there already started. And when I went to India, it was overwhelming. I really wanted to go there, but I was quite scared, I think, about it. And I got there in January '86 in Bombay, which is, I haven't been back to Bombay, but it was an amazing place. It was so busy. The traffic, the animals everywhere, the sounds. I just thought, how do I draw this? How do I do this? And a man, it was my first day, and I was walking along a street, and a man gave me a little calendar for 1986, and I kept it with me all the time. And I used to look at this. I knew I was going to be there 4 months, and I used to look at it every day and think, I've been here 2 days. It feels like I've been here a year. How can I survive 4 months? And I forced myself to draw every day, even though it was hard. There were lots of crowds. So first of all, I thought, I'll just draw. They'll leave me alone. It's okay. I can handle this. But I would have this enormous crowd around me, and it was quite scary. I remember once I was drawing. It was in a small village, so I thought, well, I'll be okay. This is manageable. But within about 5 minutes, I had about, I don't know, maybe 100 people around me. And I was drawing a cafe, and the man in the cafe passed a cup of coffee to me through the crowd, and I couldn't move my arms. And the coffee went all over my book. So somebody took my book and passed it over the heads of everybody, and the cafe man put it in the oven to dry. And then he chased everyone away, and he gave me a chair, and he said, "You sit there, and this boy will keep the crowds away." And I thought, well, that's nice, but I can't do that. It's felt too exploitative. So I just had to wait to find ways, drawing in small books, just being really discreet, sometimes being slightly above people. So if there was a a set of steps I could walk up. I'd go there and look down over a street, or I ended up just drawing as I walked down the road. There was so much, or in a rickshaw, on the train. I've got sketchbooks of street scenes. I found this book, an Indian book. I like to buy books from the country where I'm drawing. I didn't know it was a debt collector's book, and people, when I pulled this book out, people used to go, "Oh my God, what's he doing?" But I've just got pages and pages of these little street scenes, and people I saw. There's hundreds of them. Sadhus I watched by the river, and I felt at the same time I was learning a lot about India. And I asked people questions. The culture is so complicated. Like, how many gods are there? Everyone will give you a different answer. There's 27 million. There are 10. There are 9. There are 440. They're always very specific. But so I just thought, okay, I'll just take it in. Whatever you say, I'll take it in. And I drew my way around the country, and I just grew to love it. If I remember first thinking, these colors, I can't believe these colors. I'm overwhelmed by them. And after a while, I just thought, I love these colors. And it totally changed my color sense, I think. When you see a line of Rajasthani women walking down the street and they're all in incredible, vibrant, zingy colors, and they look amazing. Rajasthan has the best colors, and some of the wildest architecture too. Really incredibly, wonderfully painted houses. Houses covered in illustrated scenes. They don't know when to stop.
Yeah, that's it. It's so vibrant, and it works in that climate, doesn't it?
Yeah. And for that trip, I just went to we went to the north of India. We just thought, we'll try and limit it. But even then, we spent long days traveling on trains from one side of the country to the other. I remember once we were on a train for about 4 days, and when we got off, we just thought, what day is it? I've got no idea. And you totally lose sense of everything.
When I saw the Welcome to India book, it was all those sort of torn edges, and you can see things that you've drawn on and bits of printed material. So when I went on my round the world trip, I collected various ephemera, leaflets from station advertising stands and other free printed matter, and I used these found materials to bind sketchbooks whilst I was traveling on a train. And I've got dozens of these sketchbooks I've made in this way, crammed onto shelves. So do you hoard them in the same way? And do you feel like something's missing if you don't have one in your bag?
Oh, I always have at least one sketchbook, usually a big one and a small one. Always carried them. I just wouldn't be without one. You're always getting stuck, have to wait for a train or bus or something. It's always, or you see something, you just have to draw. I think it's so useful. It really serves as, it's a visual reminder. But in India, I collected, this is my scrapbook.
Oh, wow.
And I collected, the graphics was so amazing. And I collected my bus tickets, and I made, this is the end papers of my book. It's like nod to the Indian flag there. Everything. I was picking stuff off the street as well, and I saw some fantastic Matchbox, or these a whole ton of Matchboxes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're lovely, aren't they?
And their graphics and their gods. Just amazing. I love the colors of their gods, and the way it's in their life. Cinema posters, and this is a very strange beady cigarette packet with a weeping child on it. I'm not sure what that's about. Is it a health warning? Another one with Tarzan, another one with a Boy Scout on it. That's crazy. I went up into the Himalayas and found this on a wall, which I had to have.
Yeah.
Some of the best things I find are on the ground.
So was that scrapbook from the time of the Welcome to India
Yeah, I was making it as I was going along, really. There wasn't too much to do in the evenings. I don't know if you found that, but you know, after having my Indian dinner, there were always a few hours to make plans and do my scrapbook. And
it was sort of sit on top of the hotel roof and watch the kite flying, and
mm,
then eventually when you go back inside, it's sort of that time when the fan is going for a little while, and then there's a
yes,
power cut, and then it
yes,
goes off, and you think, oh no,
bedtime.
it's going to get
Yeah,
so hot.
yeah. You have to be careful the time of year you go. I thought after it got really hot in April, really uncomfortable.
Do you happen to have that You're Welcome to India sketchbook?
I've got some.
When I look at the book, it's sort of photographed, isn't it? I feel like some of it you've done sort of on separate piece of paper, but there's some where I can see
Oh yeah,
sort of the outside edge of your sketchbook.
yes, yeah, that's right. That book has disappeared. I don't know where it went to. I gave a talk to some students about my work, showed lots of sketchbooks, and that one disappeared, which is terrible. But there was nothing I could do.
No. So you think someone thought, oh, that's a nice one. I
think so, and I hope it will come up again. I hope it'll,
okay.
I hope I'll see it again one day. But this is I bought a book of rice paper, and this is I think Delhi railway station.
Yeah, that's lovely.
And rice paper is incredibly absorbent, so it's slightly tricky to work on. But it's got beautiful qualities of its own. Lots of bleeding of colors.
That's it. It creates a lovely sort of soft edge, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So
that's right. That one's in the book, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, yeah. A few of these are in the book.
Yes.
And the book came about just by chance. Everything came about by chance. I did some work for somebody at the BBC who said, "Oh," and I said, "I'm going to India. I'll be away for about 4 months." He said, "Oh, take this tape recorder. Record the sounds wherever you are, and we'll see what you bring back, and we'll maybe make a little film." And they did.
Yeah.
So it was like a 10-minute film, and that led to the exhibition. And then after the exhibition came the book. So it was one of those things that just, things just kind of rolled along nicely without me doing anything.
Wow, I didn't know there was a recording in a film. So
yeah, it was on BBC Two.
Can we see that anywhere?
I don't know. I don't know if it's in their archive, or I suppose it's somewhere.
I'd love to see that.
And they put the sounds. My friend Eamon recorded the sounds. There were amazing sounds of rickshaws and bicycle bells and people, in the mosques praying. And up in the Himalayas again, we went to see some of the Buddhist towns.
Wow.
So there was lots of Buddhist horns and chanting. But I feel it's something that really changed me totally as when I came back, I wasn't the same person.
No, it does. That's it. It certainly does. Yeah, it changes you, doesn't it?
It does. It broadens you in every way.
In the back of the book, it mentions that you did a lot of other travel to China with Eamon as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We used to do a lot together.
So did that become anything? Is there another book that I've missed out on?
There's not a book, but there was the BBC again made another film, a slightly longer film, and we were there it was kind of the end of the kind of Maoist China, really, and it was just before Tiananmen Square. So people were people could sense that something was going to change, and they were very optimistic, and they would talk about the Red Guards coming in and smashing up their bathrooms and beating them up, and they were anticipating better times, but nobody knew what was going to happen. It was fascinating to see, and when I look back at places we went to, I remember going to Chongqing, which was a kind of big city, but it wasn't. Now it's about 35 million people and unrecognizable. And I remember I was drawing lots of old steam trains, really fantastic old dirty steam trains, and people said, "Oh, in 2014, all these will be gone and replaced by brand new trains." And I thought, "Oh yeah, nice story." But they were, they did it.
Yeah.
It was all planned, but there were, these mega cities that just have popped up everywhere. And I was, when I was there, there were just, you still go to old villages, and there were factories and plants, and it was polluted, but nothing like it is now.
I know that's what sort of just amazes me about things like the Three Gorges Dam. In a way, they'll flood cities and hundreds of towns, and in the name of progress.
Yeah, we traveled through that area, and people said, "Oh, this is all going to be underwater."
Yeah,
and there were wonderful places. There were lovely villages, really ancient temples, and it was quite shocking to see what happened.
I suppose the idea of green energy is important, but that huge cost of all that sort of history.
Yeah,
it's very sad.
A lot was sacrificed.
So I know everyone's journey is very different and unique, and you mentioned about these sort of chance happenings that then things come about, and sort of being in the right place at the right time, I guess. But do you have any advice for young people looking for a career in the illustration world?
Well, it's a tough world. I think you have to be very self-motivated. You are your everything in your business. You are, from the T-boy upwards, you do everything, the accounts, the getting the job, the doing the job, the organizing whatever's going to happen. So I'd say it's, if you enjoy working by yourself, for yourself, that's good. You have to do it. And you have to, I think it's really important to be yourself, to draw the things you're interested in, and be as experimental, and don't go with a fixed set about what you want to do. Just be open to all kinds of things before you commit yourself to who you are. We're all growing, and even at my great age, I know there are lots more things I want to do, and I want to discover more things, and I want to experiment more, and that's part of the fun of doing it, I think.
So do you have any upcoming plans?
Yeah, just doing more travel, making more paintings. I haven't had a show really for a while. I've had kind of showing old pieces of work and mixed up with new stuff, but I'd like to maybe think about another show.
Yeah, so you have work at the Rowley Gallery, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. And regularly they'll put on a window display of pieces that I give them. So they're kind of taking over that side of things, which is nice.
Oh, do they frame your work?
Yeah, they do. Thank heavens.
Yeah.
And I just let them do whatever they want. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's
unlike you, who you're in charge of everything.
Yeah,
you're the framer too.
Yeah, no,
I wouldn't trust myself to that job.
Thanks so much for talking to me today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for inviting me, Giles.
Yeah, it's been a real honor, and
pleasure to meet you.
Met a legend, one of my own legends. So thanks.
No. Thanks, Giles.